down at the near the share.
Yeah, it's recording.
Oh, yes, it sure
Yeah.
is. Okay, thank you so much.
So
Sorry to interrupt.
no problem. So for this poster, I will go over my research on earth and solar cell batteries. So we know in today's time, we use electricity for almost anything because we use it as a source of energy for us. So it can be found in appliances, healthcare, public transportation system, etc. So electricity may be an essential aspect in our modern life. However, such as generating electricity can further amplify environmental issues that we are experiencing now, such as climate change, for example. So for the purpose of this research project, we wanted to build earth and solar cell batteries prototypes on a smaller scale to see if homemade batteries can produce electricity. And this research looked into possible real-world applications to find other means of sustainable resources to generate electricity. So as you can see in these two figures, let's just, okay. Oh, there it is. So this, for the first one, on the first figure, I did a earth battery, which is where I used copper wire and wrapped around galvanized bolt and placed them into wet soil. And the voltages and currents were measured for this battery. And electricity, the way how electricity generates from this earth battery is where when electrons move between copper and zinc in wet soil, they generate electricity. So, and as for in figure 2, I created a solar cell battery prototype by wrapping copper wire around CD flat with Zener diodes and place them and their voltages were measured at different times throughout the day. So for the results, the average voltages and currents decrease as the number of cells increase for the earth battery. And as for the CD flat with the diodes, the voltages vary throughout the day, which means that temperature is a factor to have an impact on the voltages. So in just to summarize the components of this research, the earth battery was able to produce higher voltages in comparison to the solar battery. And the number of cells and temperatures were the independent variables for the earth and for both batteries, basically. Since the research was done on a smaller scale, I believe that further replication and experimentation are needed to look into different application for environmental sustainability in regards to produce electricity. And for this poster, I would like to thank Dr. Jang for providing guidance to make this research project possible. And this will wrap up the presentation for this poster. If you have any question, you're welcome to ask now.
I have a question. So why do you guess that the more cells on the earth battery produce less voltage?
Oh, so for that one, I changed the number of cells to measure the voltage. So when I decreased
I know, but why? Okay, given the more cells, why would you get less voltage?
Okay,
I'm just curious.
Yeah, so I think it's because the electrons it has more spacing to move. That's why I think electricity may have decreased over time.
So like is that the voltage? Is that the voltage per cell or the total voltage of the battery that you're measuring?
So it's the total voltage of the battery. So for this one, I made like a closed circuit. So that's why the different numbers of cell, it changed the voltage of the battery as a whole.
Okay.
And then do you think, I mean, I don't know if you can answer it. I don't know if you measure it. So did you measure what was in the soil? Did you do that as a precursor too?
So because the soil, it acts as an electrolyte solution for electrons to move between copper and zinc, I couldn't really measure the soil. So I measured the connection of the earth battery.
Yeah. Well, to me, okay, I'm just going to make a guess.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think you deplete, okay, after a certain amount of time, you deplete whatever conducting elements are in the soil, right? But that doesn't quite answer why the whole battery with more measured, right? I would want to see, I mean, I think it's something to investigate further, to see how each cell, and does the size of the cell matter, even
Yeah.
though you have 15? What do you think, Dr. Baird?
I mean, I'm no chemist, so I don't.
Well, I don't know either, but I'm just saying.
So I think so because this is done just like on a very like it's like a battery prototype. I seen it done like on like a bigger scale where they use like big gigantic poles of copper, and they have done that outside. And I think mine is very small compared to theirs. Theirs is like voltages of 7 or higher. Yeah.
Right. And let me ask, did you start this during the COVID period?
I started the summer of last year. So
that was, we were still virtual.
Yeah.
Is that right? That's very nice. Nice virtual project. But I think you could do well, especially with Dr. Jang, you know, he's all about the batteries and the sensors. So even developing a sensor other than the voltage meter, right, would be very nice but anyway, just some ideas. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for the questions.
Yeah, I'm going to leave, but you now you can end your recording when they come back. You don't have to record every single one.